People are fleeing Shanghai in droves. Neighborhoods see no chance of lifting the lockdown. After 1.5 months of lockdown, Shanghai officials announced that the lockdown would be lifted in phases starting on May 16th. However, on the same day, a wave of people fleeing Shanghai began to emerge at the Hongqiao railway station, with long lines of people waiting to get inside. Most of them reached the station on foot as public transportation in Shanghai was still under suspension. A video shows a large number of people still making their way to Hongqiao Station on foot at around 4 a.m. on May 17th. According to the CCP media, the paper.cn, the number of trains stopping at the station increased to 12 on May 16th and 17th, carrying more than 6,000 passengers per day. A total of about 13,000 people had left Shanghai by train from Hongqiao Station in 2 days. According to the China Railway Shanghai Bureau Group, by May 20th, the total number of rail trips running in Shanghai had increased to 21. Caixin.com reported that Shanghai Railway has now transported more than 10,000 passengers in a single day, consisting mainly of people returning home. Weibo users exposed the situation near the Shanghai Hongqiao train station on May 19th. The post reads, "My friends asked me if I had a hotel to stay. I replied, it was so full here that there was almost no room for me to have a spot on the lawn. Last night I slept in the grass like them, suffering mosquito bites and cold wind." According to pictures shared by netizens, many people with luggage or backpacks sat under the overpass to rest. Some had even prepared beddings to sleep on the ground or grass. The streets were full of people waiting to take the train home. Leaving Shanghai has strict requirements. 3 conditions must be met before one can leave. At present, to leave Shanghai, one must meet 3 conditions. They are 1. Holding a negative nucleic acid test certificate within 48 hours. 2. Being in the preventive zone. And 3. Having the approval from the local residents committee in addition to being lucky to get a ticket. The online media Shanghai Observer, run by the Shanghai Liberation Daily, reported that the current conditions for leaving Shanghai are strict, and one must show proof of a negative PCR within 48 hours and a negative fast screening within 24 hours. Chinese people have described Shanghai as a place where rich people go overseas, people from out of town return homes, and those who are stuck in a dead-end situation will have to stay. A man with a dog tried to flee Shanghai in a floating foam log, hoping to reach the neighboring province of Jiangxi. A man from out of town wanted to flee Shanghai and go home, sailing in a makeshift raft made out of foam with his luggage and a dog on it. He planned to float back to his hometown in Jiangxi. A resident on shore tried to dissuade him. "You definitely can't go back to Jiangxi like this. You really can't go. It will fall apart soon. Really, you can't go like this." The man replied, "If it falls apart, I will swim back." The resident responded, "Swimming? If you're going to swim, you should get a life jacket on you." The video footage shows that the foam raft was already going down, submerged in the water. But the man seemed determined and had rowed the foam raft to the middle of the river. A dog was drifting along with him, and the man pet the animal to comfort it. Netizens speculated that since Shanghai had been under lockdown for more than a month, the man from out of town might have spent all his money with nothing left to afford a ticket home. He made his own foam raft, hoping to drift his way home. Chinese people have left all sorts of comments online. Shanghai is becoming a city full of lunacy. Look what it has forced people into. People are suffering, don't you know? Everyone knows the raft is going to fall apart, but he still insists on leaving Shanghai that way. It goes to show how desperate and broken his heart is. He isn't just broken and desperate, he really has no other options. Since the city lockdown, many migrant workers from out of town have lost their jobs with no income or even a place to stay. They have been forced to wander the streets of Shanghai with no food. They are stuck in unthinkable misery. The European Union Chamber of Commerce says there will be an even larger scale of foreign businesses leaving China this summer. According to English-language media, This is Shanghai, operated by Hong Kong-focused media, 85% of foreigners in Shanghai want to run away from Shanghai. The latest statistics from the European Union Chamber of Commerce in China shows that the expatriate population in China has been halved since the outbreak, with an even larger exodus expected to happen this summer. The vice president of the European Union Chamber of Commerce in Shanghai said, "Despite all our efforts, the Chinese government hasn't done anything to retain expatriates." According to the French press, the French consul in Shanghai said that the biggest challenges in China are the conditions in the quarantine centers, impeded access to medical care, psychological trauma, administrative red tape, and a shortage of various supplies. A CNN correspondent who fled Shanghai said, "The folks I spoke with seem to have reached the same conclusion. The time they had invested in China's financial hub no longer mattered. It was time to pull out, cut your losses." When a reporter interviewed a woman, the minute she started talking, it scared the reporter and the mic was moved away. As Shanghai just announced the reopening of the subway and public transit, a reporter from the official media interviewed a woman riding the subway. The woman spoke the truth. "I'm really happy today because it's been closed for almost 2 months. Since I was born, I have never suffered days like this, being locked up at home and not being able to go out. It's a big joke." Such candid talk scared the reporter and the mic was moved away from her. This video sparked a lot of online discussions. The reporter had quietly moved the microphone away from the woman and the camera then turned to an empty car. In a subsequent news broadcast by Shanghai's official media, the woman's comments were removed as they were different from the official narrative. Another video shows a reporter from Shanghai's news outlet, the paper.cn, encountering a similarly awkward scene while interviewing a woman in a subway car. The woman being interviewed told the reporter, "It's really tough for us here." Upon hearing it, the reporter immediately stood up and moved the mic away. The woman was still complaining. "For more than 50 days, there has been no government supplies here." At this point, the reporter interrupted her abruptly and ended the interview in a hurry.